Are you happy? Just think about that for a second. Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am stephwillemse, and today is our first ever coffee talk. So basically coffee talks are when we sit and talk about deeper, more important things over a cup of coffee. So if you don't have a warm beverage, stop this video and go make one immediately. Today I'm doing something that's very close to my heart. It is how to fall in love with yourself and just in general be a happy person. So in this video I'm going to tell you guys my story, my journey towards happiness, and also I'll give you guys 10 tips which worked for me to get this internal bliss that you can get. I was watching YouTube one day and I came across these Q&A videos, and they asked questions to people I really admire. I feel like they have this glamorous life and they just have everything, you know, the whole package, the whole deal. Their life are kind of sorted out for them and everything. And the last question they asked on these videos were, are you happy? And as far as I remember, every single one of them answered no, that they aren't happy at this stage of their life. I was shocked to say the least, because they have everything, and that is when I started to think about happiness. I never thought of happiness as such a deep emotion with a lot of layers. It's like that Russian dolls, you know, I can't remember the name for them. If you know, please let me know. That has a lot of layers. And I never thought of it like that until I watched those videos, and that's when I started to think of happiness as such a deep emotion. Let's start with the definition of happiness. Now I feel like everyone has their own personal opinion about what a definition of happiness can be. For one person it can be having inner peace, for other person it can be to be healthy, or it can be to have this mansion of a house. For every person has a different perspective of happiness, and that is all okay, good and well. I came across this definition that I really truly like, and I would like to just read it for you guys. True happiness is inner quality. It is a state of mind. If your mind is at peace, you are happy. If you have everything the world can give, like positions and power, but lack peace of mind, you can never be happy. So, yeah, that is deep. It is deep. So the journey towards happiness is not a straight and easy road. It is quite difficult. So my story goes like this. It all started in July 2018. It was after I started watching these Q&A videos. And I realized I was unhappy. Like truly unhappy. And at that moment, I didn't know I was starting a journey towards happiness. I just know I was at one of the lowest points in my life. But this one movie, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, you know, that very long name, that movie. There's one line in that movie that I kind of live by, and it is you need bad days to truly appreciate the good days. And I really love that quote. It's one of my favorite movie quotes that I've ever heard. But anyways, this morning I woke up, I was unhappy and I didn't know who I was, what I wanted out of life. I had all of these questions just popping around my head, and I was conflicted. And me being me, I'm not good at going to someone and talking to them about it. I sort it out by myself, with myself, in my own time. I'm just that kind of person. So in this time, I call it in the cocoon phase. So it was, before that I was a worm and I needed to transform into a butterfly. And that confusion phase I call the cocoon phase. So the next 2 to 3 months I was very confused. I didn't know what was happening. All I know, I was unhappy and I had a lot of questions and I didn't know how to handle them, to be honest. It was only in October that I started to make changes in my life. And in order to become that happy person, I had to discover myself and find inner peace with who I am. It is only when I started to realize the problem when I could implement the solution. And it was then when I started to have more good than bad days. I found myself laughing at nothing, just out of the blue. I feel like I sound delusional when I say that. And until this day, I still do it. I randomly burst out laughing just because I am so happy. Like my bottle loop oor, if I can literally just say it in plain Afrikaans. So a lot of people started to make comment on me being happier. They saw this transformation. My mom being the person who saw it the most actually. She just made comments on how I light up the house when I come home over weekends, or how much laughter and joy I bring for them, and just loving the person I'm becoming. And all of those comments meant so much to me, because becoming a happy person means you're affecting the people around you. That's what I realized, and making them happy made me even more happier. So it is a non-stop cycle basically. It's just, it goes around and goes around, and I love it. I love being happy. So December was basically one of the happiest times of my life. So I kind of neglected something. I didn't realize that once you've discovered that inner happiness, that you you have to constantly work on it. You can't just find that happiness and assume it's going to be there for the rest of your life, because it's not. Ask me, it's not. Being a happy person for the rest of your life is a journey you have to walk until the day you die, because people are always changing. Our personalities change, our situations change, everything changes. We are not rigid, we don't stay the same. So from December, let me say February, March, my life changed again, because in December I was on holiday. I was at home constantly for 2 months, and I had time, the luxury of time, to spend it all on myself. It was the best, because I could follow routines, I could do exercise, I could eat healthy. I had time to do everything I wanted. I had time to do stuff that makes me happy. And then classes start again. I started to study again. I'm in my final year. It's a lot of stress that's just piling up and piling up and piling up. And I started to kind of lose that inner happiness that I found, because now suddenly I don't have time for everything. I'm struggling to get all my assignments done and to study for tests. I don't have time for myself, which is the baddest thing that could possibly happen to someone, is if you don't make time for yourself, you don't have time for yourself. And I've said this in a previous video, I hate saying I don't have time. It's one of my pet peeves. I just completely and utterly hate it. And that's what happened to me. And I know it's going to be difficult to maintain this inner happiness that I've found, because next year I'm going into a working environment. And then a couple of years from that, I'm going to have a husband. And a couple of years from that, I'm going to have children. And every phase a person is going through is an adaptation. You have to adapt to be happy with those conditions once again. Because now I found happiness in my study place. I'm happy again. I found it. It doesn't take that long to find it again than it took to initially find it. But it's going to take time to get used to being in the workplace and still be able to make time for yourself, and to get used to running a household, having a husband, giving them food, having kids. All of this is going to be an adaptation, but I'm willing to go for it. I'm willing. I know I can maintain this inner happiness. I know I can. I know everyone can. But it's just, you have to remind yourself and just think about it, because every phase you are going to go in is a phase you're going to have to adapt to. So now that you've heard my long boring story, let me give you the 10 tips you've been waiting for. 10 tips on how to fall in love with yourself, to find inner peace, and just to be a happy person. And I truly believe that these tips made me a happier person. And some of them I haven't implemented, but I'm looking to implement them in the near future because I'm very curious on how happy I can get myself, how much I can push that boundary. So without further ado, let me take you to the 10 tips. Create a routine. I know this sounds like something you'll read everywhere and you just don't believe it's true. But here it is. It's true. If you have a routine, you will feel more in control of your life. And not only that, that will allow you to reduce your stress levels. So even if it's a very general tip to give, I strongly recommend to build up a routine. And I know you will not be able to follow that routine daily because life happens. Some days you have to alter your routine. Okay, so this is also a very general one, but exercise, guys. Do exercise. I'm not very good at it. I don't like exercise. I have to force myself to do exercise. And honestly, I've been slacking, but I have to get back to it because I can feel my stress levels becoming more because I am not exercising. But find an exercise that suits you. Don't do something you completely hate. So I tried doing exercises and I hated most of them, and then I discovered yoga. I really like yoga. In December I did it every day. Almost. I did like 6 times a week, okay? But I almost did it every day, and afterwards I felt so good about myself. I just felt like I could take on the world. So do exercise, but find something you like and do it in a time slot that suits you. Whether it's yoga in the morning or jog in the or whether it is jog in the afternoons, just find something that suits you and your schedule and do it. Preferably 3 to 4 times a week. I know it's not always possible to do it every day. I get that. Life is busy. But just try and do it as many times as you can per week. It will literally give you that boost of energy you need, also reduce your stress, and the hormones like dopamine and all that stuff will just make you feel so good about yourself. So it's really truly recommended to do exercise in order to be happy, and not even to mention the health benefits you can get from it. Focus on yourself. I cannot stress this enough, guys. This is very important. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes you need to be selfish in life. A lot of people will say this is not good advice, but this is advice I really like to give. I give it a lot. Sometimes you need to be selfish. In some situations, life throws to you, you need to be selfish. And you need to be selfish with your time, okay? So I came across something that really shocked me. I think it was in one of my scripture booklets thingies. So professional word choice there. But it is to spend 1 out of 24 hours on yourself, okay? That is 1/24th. That is 4% of your day. You can really spend 4% of your day on yourself. Whether it is having a relaxing bath or just drinking coffee, just do something that makes you feel happy. If you don't spend time with yourself, you will lose yourself. You will not know who you are because, like I said, we're constantly evolving as a person, and you need to keep track of who you are because you are changing. So if you don't have that hour a day with yourself, how are you going to be able to discover yourself? How are you going to be able to know yourself? Because you need to know yourself in order to love yourself, because you need to make peace with yourself in order to love yourself. This is just something I came across, and I tried to make it a daily routine of mine. 1 hour of the day, it is mine. It is not my phone's, it's not social media's, it's not my tests, it's not my assignments, it's me. Me and my cup of coffee usually. That's the thing I do in my 1 hour every day. Plan your life around that 1 hour. Plan your studying. I have to study as well. I have tests with work. And I push that aside for 1 hour a day to be with myself. I don't watch series in that time because I feel like that then I can't think. I can't meet with myself, basically. Because this is what you want to do. You want to meet with yourself in that 1 hour. And you want to borrow further into your life and see who you are. This is not a 1 hour of leisure. This is a 1 hour meeting with yourself. Yes, it is leisure. Let me not put it like that. It is leisure. You drink coffee, you relax, but you need to get to know yourself in that 1 hour every day. You need to think about stuff. Think about stuff you want to change about your life. Think about how you handled that one situation at work today, how you could improve on that. And doing that, you will improve as a person. I can make one whole video about focusing on yourself because I have a lot to say in this 1 out of 24 hour theorem that I've discovered. So let me just stop there, otherwise this whole video is going to go on point 3 about focusing on yourself. Let's just move on to point 4. Scan your life. I love this one. Scan your life from beginning to end. I have this saying, I do say it a lot, you can ask everyone. Isolate the problem, implement the solution. If you have a problem with your marks, why do you have a problem? Search for a solution for that problem. If you have a problem with your career, why do you have that problem? Then just implement a solution, whether it is changing jobs, adapting to your environment, whatever the solution might be. And also, this is my favorite one, if you have a problem with how you look, change it. You are capable of changing it. We live in a modern technological world. You can change it. I went to this motivational speaker session once. It was with Leandi Dirand. It's one of my role models, and she has this book about being comfortable in your own skin. I recommend this read to everyone. It's a very good read, especially for teenagers where they discover this themselves. And she said, if you are not happy with how you look, then leave the piece of cake, pick up the carrot stick. That's how it works. That's how life works. If you are not happy, you have to change that factor that does not make you happy. So if you are happy with how you look, by all means, look like that. I'm happy with how I look. I don't have a six-pack. I don't have a thigh gap. I do have my insecurities, but I'm happy with how I look. So I'm just gonna go on and proceed my life like it is. If you are not happy, if you feel like you are not pretty enough, your hair is not straight enough, your thighs are too big, whatever your problem is, whatever that insecurity is that makes you unhappy, because I know for a lot of people it is insecurities that makes us unhappy, and that's why you have to find peace with yourself, because once you find peace with yourself, you won't have that insecurities anymore, and then you will be a happier person. Okay? Everything is a cycle. Everything is a cycle. And if you're not happy with how you look, change it. If your hair is not too straight for yourself, go for a Brazilian. If you feel your thighs are too big, start doing squats daily. I mean, you can change it. You are in control of that. You can change those things. And also, it's harder when it comes to when you have a problem with your mentality. That's a whole different ball game. That is something I can go into in the next video. As myself, I am suffering from anxiety. I feel like I'm not suffering from it at the worst case possible, but I also made inner peace with that, and I scanned my life, I realized I have that problem, and I am implementing a solution for that daily in my life. It's just a different ball game to when you are not happy with how you look or with your career or anything. So whatever the problem is, you have to scan it and you have to isolate the problem and implement a solution. So my fifth tip I have for you is to pray and read your Bible on a daily basis. I highly recommend starting and finishing your day by reading the Bible and praying, because just like if we don't give our body nutrients, it will become sick. If we don't feed our soul spiritually, they will also become sick. So to be a happier person, you have to look at every aspect of your life. We looked at the physical aspect, saying you should exercise. We looked at the mental aspect as well a little bit when we said focus on yourself. And now we're looking at your spiritual side. So we need to feed all three corners of your life in order for yourself to be happy. So this next one I have not yet implemented into my life, but I am looking forward to do so. It is morning pages. If you do not know what morning pages is, I've been hearing all about it everywhere. It is basically word vomit. So when you wake up in the morning, you take 3 pages and you just write. with your stream of consciousness until those 3 pages comes to an end. There's a lot of benefits when it comes to morning pages. I've been reading up a lot on it lately, and they say it can boost your creativeness, so you can come up with a business plan or whatever you're working on while writing this morning pages. And it will also relieve your stress, because when you just put something you're feeling inside on paper, it's like an outlet, it's a stress reliever. And just in general, you will start your day with an open mind, knowing everything that you thought of in the morning is on paper and it's out of your system. Social media detox, guys, this is important. This is something I went through in December when I found my inner happiness. I avoided every platform of social media I could find. I didn't Facebook, Instagram. Okay, I might have Instagrammed a little, but for mostly, I didn't spend a lot of time on social media. Even WhatsApp, I didn't reply to people. I just avoided everything for a solid 2 weeks maybe. I think. I know my boyfriend is complaining about that because I avoided him as well, but that was before we started dating. But it really helps. Consciously and unconsciously, we compare ourselves with other people when we're on social media. And I feel like Instagram is one of the biggest platforms that we compare ourselves on, because for me, Facebook, I only have people I know on Facebook, so I don't really compare myself to them because I know them, I know their lives. But looking on Instagram, there's a lot of people I follow that is just inspirational. You scroll through that explore page and you see this person in the Bahamas, you see this person in Bali, you see this woman with the most beautiful bikini body out there, and you see this girl with the greatest makeup. You see everything. It's an international platform. You can go global on Instagram. And good and well, like, I love it to see those things. It makes me feel inspired because I want to be there one day. But unconsciously, we compare ourselves with those people, even though we know we're not the same people. We're not on the standard they are, and they are not on the standard we are. We compare ourselves to Instagram people. Instagram is not a reality. It is not. People look perfect. They create the perfect illusion, the perfect background, the perfect photo opportunity. They Photoshop, they edit. It's not a reality. But still, although we know this, we still compare ourselves to those people. Why? I have no idea. Everyone is guilty to it. If I'm having a bad day and I'm scrolling through Instagram, I compare myself with those. I compare myself with other YouTubers. I am not nearly even big, but I'm a starter, so I cannot compare myself with Kayla Nicholson, who has been doing this for how many years now and has such wonderful skills doing this because she learned through the process. You cannot compare yourself with others. You're going at your own pace. And when we look at social media, we tend to compare ourselves. And what did we say in the beginning? You need to love yourself in order to be happy. You are not going to love yourself if you continuously compare yourself with other people who's creating a fake reality. That's not going to happen. Reality is a beautiful thing. It's messy. That's what's making it beautiful. Don't compare yourself with this plastic illusion of a world, this paper world. Movie reference, okay? Don't compare yourself with that, because you're not going to find happiness out of that. It's something I struggle with till this day. When I look at YouTube, I feel like, why cannot I be as big as this person? What am I doing wrong? But in the end, I'm doing the best I can for the things I have. I'm borrowing my sister's camera. I have the cheapest tripod on this planet. I don't have a lighting system. I'm using my lamps. I'm not nearly where the other people are. Everyone just have to realize they cannot start at the top. That's not going to happen. You have to work yourself up from the bottom. Everyone started at a point. Everyone was a beginner at a point, just like you are now. So don't compare yourself. I feel like I'm so off topic. But just don't compare yourself with anyone else on this planet. You are beautiful. You are perfect. Just the way you are. Don't compare yourself or the things you do with YouTubers, with Instagrammers. You are not them. You are you. Follow a new dream. Take all this energy you've gotten from these tips that I gave you and push it into something useful. Follow a dream. Make a new dream if you don't have one. Mine was YouTube. When I found this inner happiness I'm keep talking about, I took that energy, that newfound energy, and I pushed it into something I always wanted to do, but I was always too scared to pursue. It rhymes. Anyway, so I took all that energy and I pushed it into YouTube, and I'm not regretting it for a second, hey? I am totally loving this. Surround yourself with good people. Find your tribe. Even if it means you have to cut people out of your life. I know this is difficult. Luckily, I am not in that position. But it is a difficult one. You have to cut them out of your life if they make you unhappy. Because you are only as happy as the people you surround yourself with. I know, good luck if you have to do that, but you have to come to a point where you have to realize you do not have to feel guilty to cut people out of your life. This is one of those situations where you have to be selfish about it. You have to be selfish with the people you surround yourself with and the people in your life. Otherwise, you're not gonna get that happiness. And finally, serve others. I don't mean go do all the odd jobs for someone or anything. I mean do something nice for other people. You will feel so happy from just doing these things. It can be from complimenting someone working at McDonald's to giving someone a flower, or just giving a flower to your mother, or whatever the case. You will feel uplifted from an act of kindness. It's like this saying that says, do to others that you want to be done to yourself. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you could find something out of this video. I know I did. When I wrote the script and everything, I rediscovered that happiness, and I rediscovered on how to be happy. So please let me know if these tips worked for you. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button, as well as the little bell to be notified whenever I upload new videos. Always remember, drink coffee and be kind. See you guys in my next video. Ek is lief vir jou. Mwah. Baie is hier.